to afterwards. Once they've closed the doors, that's it. Don't come to me and say, well, I was late, I didn't eat, You have to be here and seated at 13:30. Change number 2, the first 3 rows are reserved rows. And where's Lucy? She's changed her position. No, not you. Okay, the first 3 rows are reserved for our guests. Now I need to explain what the first 3 rows are. PDG William, Chair, if you can stand there. Sorry, let me use you. The next row. Yes. So these are the first 3 rows. It's the chairs right next to the table, the front table, and the 3 chairs, rows of chairs immediately behind those. And you can see where the HOC chair is. PDG William, just raise your hand. These are the first 3 rows from both ends, that end to this end here, left to right. Please, when you come back at 2 o'clock, do not sit in these seats. You can fill up any of the seats behind. The bottom part of the auditorium takes 1,500 delegates, and we're only about a third of that. So you will have enough seating. So do not take the first 3 rows, please. Then in the evening, we've got a dinner, a cultural dinner at a place called the Orchard. It's out of town, so it's about 30 kilometers from here. 13:30. Okay. You see, PDG William is used to the old time of 1:30. I said 13:30, you must be seated. So I'll repeat, 1:30 or 13:30. The 12-hour clock is 1:30. The 24-hour clock is 13:30. You must be seated in the auditorium. So in the evening, we've got a cultural dinner at a place called the Orchard. And the dress is traditional wear or national wear. Traditional wear or national wear. So you'll be picked up from the Mulungushi International Conference Center at 6 p.m. sharp. It's a bit out of town, so we need to ensure that we're here on time in order for us to get to the Orchard and get started and enjoy ourselves and come back as well and rest in readiness for tomorrow. So you will go back to your hotels, come back here. The Orchard is providing us transportation, so you're not using the rotary buses. You come back here and then you'll be picked up and bused to the Orchard for the cultural dinner. So just a reminder, I've seen there's a lot more people that have come in. There's a medical clinic as you step out of the auditorium on my right-hand side. Straight ahead of you, there's a medical clinic. The services there are free. There are two doctors on duty, and there's a pharmacy. There's also a physiotherapist, I think, for any of those who need physio. Lunch will be ready at 11:30. We are targeting to end here at 11:40. So we want to make sure that people eat and have come back into the auditorium and are seated by 13:30 or 1:30. Lunch will be served in the banquet halls 2 and 3. Yesterday you only used 1, but today we're opening it up so that people can be served quickly and come back quickly into the hall. Then the buses to take us to the Orchard for the evening function will be here to pick us up at 18 hours sharp. 18 hours sharp. So as you can see, the theme throughout today is time. Time is very important today. When you go out for tea break, make sure you come back in time and don't chew into the speaker's time like I have. I've taken 5 minutes of your time. DG Gabs, thank you. Handbag.
Thank you very much, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Did you guys sleep well? Anyway, my name is Gabriel Chipara, and my simple job this morning is to lead this session together with the beautiful lady who is seated next to me on the left side. The session we are about to start on, I see RI President is not here. Any trustee, RI trustees in here? We want to acknowledge you. Okay, Dean. Good morning, Dean. How are you? RID Patrick? Not yet here. Any Rotary support staff that are here in the room with us? Okay, I can see Hannah and the lady sitting next to her. Fellow Rotarians, spouses, guests, welcome to our first session of today. And the session is, if you check your programs, it's on club visioning. Our presenter today is none other than PDG Leanne Sharing from District 9210. She has been passionate about club visioning, about training. She's a past district trainer. And this issue of planning and visioning at club level is one area where, as clubs, whichever district you come from in Zone 22, is an area where we need to zone in on, because without proper planning at club level, whether it's strategic planning or any other planning, and more so club visioning, we might find it difficult to have clubs that grow all the time, clubs that are vibrant, clubs that are clear in terms of where they're going, and clubs that have enough corporate governance for them to function as they should. PDG Leanne, the floor is yours. And please give her all your ears. I thank you.
Thanks, DG Gabriel. Good morning, the wonderful family of Rotary. It's great to be here, and I'm very excited to talk about club visioning. But before I do, you will notice a few people walking around this institute, thank you, Tracy, with these wonderful tutu desks. My challenge to you, and I encourage you to challenge those members who are not yet present, is go and find them and ask them about this wonderful tool that is designed to assist schools that are underfunded, schools that are in underprivileged areas that don't have resources. So that's my first challenge to you. Okay, club visioning. Thank you. I'm sure that all the leadership in the House this morning, whether you're past district governors, current district governors, future district governors, district chairs, all of you are leaders. And I know that what you all want to do is grow Rotary. You want to increase membership, you want to have increased donations to the foundation. We want better public image. We want bigger, more impactful projects. And we want to develop our future leaders, because as leaders, we can't call ourselves leaders unless we're developing future leaders. But the most, I think, if you will agree, is that you want to leave a legacy of strong, healthy, growing, vibrant clubs in your districts. So, what do we mean by creating a vision for success? The beauty of Rotary is that Rotary gives us all the tools and resources necessary in order for us to be successful in the roles that we are appointed to. Training is at all levels, whether it be directorship, regional, district, or even club level. with presidents and officers of clubs. And as much as we appreciate it, all of these are very individual focused. So this tool, club visioning, is very club centric, which is why I'm so excited about it. Since 2002, dedicated Rotarians have given their time, their talents to deliver individual club visioning events around the world. To date, district level facilitation teams support Rotary clubs across the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, the Nordic states, and the Caribbean. And last year, club visioning was exported to Russia. Now, you might think that's controversial, but we are all Rotarians and we are all pushing for peace in the world. So let's look at it that way. So over the past 25 years, more than 1,500 facilitators have been trained and more than 125 districts have been impacted by club visioning. So a club visioning event is either a 4-hour in-person or two 2-hour virtual sessions. So time-wise, it's not onerous. These visioning events assist club leaders, the key leaders, interested members of a Rotary club in achieving continuity, consistency, and consensus, which is what we really need. And really, that's what Rotary is asking of us all in all areas. So the session really should include all your club members, because that's the way we engage members, because they are deciding the future of their club. It's important that you have past, present, and future club leaders attend, and any club influencers. We know that many clubs have people in the clubs. They're not necessarily in positions of authority, but they have a huge influence on the club. Get them involved. What is the process for club visioning? It's really a process where club members bring their ideas, bring their input into how they want their club to tick over, what they want to focus on over the next 3 to 5 years. Ideas, like a strategic plan, the ideas are gathered and members are taken through a process of consensus. So obviously the priorities are decided by the club members. Once the consensus has been created, club members will learn proper processes to develop a master plan for the next 3 years and how to create action plans to get there. I've seen far too often clubs have a strategic plan which lives on or in file 13, and it gets sort of dusted off and looked at the following year. So it's important that we have action plans to go with our strategic plans. Each club visioning event is purposed for one club at a time. So you might have 4 or 5 clubs doing club visioning on the same day, but they will be individual facilitators for each club. So you might ask, if this is club visioning, why do districts need to get involved? So districts and district leadership need to fully support this program in order to bring club visioning to their districts, to the clubs in their districts. And the support of district leadership, especially the governor line, current governors, district governor-elects, and district governor nominees, they are critical to the success of this program. Assistant governors also need to be included because they are essential to help the clubs stay on track once they've done the club visioning events. So it really is a monitored program. Obviously, for any program, there is a financial consideration, which I'm happy to say it affects districts rather than clubs. So I'm sure clubs will be happy to hear that. Districts, we'll talk about the cost later. But I think in terms of what we actually pay to be part of this program is minuscule compared to the impact that this program will have. There is a sign-up fee, and then on the 1st of July of every year, you will be sent an invoice to renew for a further year. We then need to ask District Governor Lines to make sure that their treasurers understand the importance of this and that payments should be made timeously. And we'll speak about this a bit later. The steps to start the process. I am delighted that we have one district, the host district for this institute, that have signed up. So speak to them. We have Chair Sam Chikawore, if you will stand up. Thank you, Sam. Sam is the District Club Visioning Chair for District 9210, and of course the support of past District Nella, District Governor Gabriel, and District Governor-elect Tom Kamwendo, please stand up, have made this possible. They have the vision for the future of greatness for District 9210, and we are hoping that other clubs will emulate them. So first and most importantly is for district leaders to agree that they want this program to be activated within their districts. As previously mentioned, the process starts with the district governor-elect, and district governor nominee supporting and endorsing the club visioning concept. As stated before, their support is absolutely critical. The next step is to appoint a club visioning chair, like District 9210 has appointed Sam. This position ideally should be for 2 to 3 years. And the role of the club visioning chair is to identify potential club visioning facilitators, to market the concept to the clubs in the district, to consider increasing facilitation as the program grows, and to do all the administration work and to make sure that every year we are re-enrolled in the program. So the first point of call for the club visioning chair is for them to create their team. They need, as I said, they need to identify facilitators, and we ask that there is a minimum of 15 facilitators per district, because if you've got more than one club wanting facilitation on the same day, if you only have a handful of facilitators, you have a problem. We want you to include Rotaractors in these facilitation teams, because we want to grow Rotary and we want to upskill Rotarians and Rotaractors. And I think facilitation skills is an incredible skill to have and to learn. Once the team has been identified, we obviously have to talk about training. And before that can happen, the district club visioning person needs to submit the forms for authorization to the IVCF and obviously to make a payment. Once that happens, the district club visioning chair with the zone coordinator, will then schedule the training of the facilitators for the program. Leveraging resources. That is what IVCF is there for. They have the resources to support every district that has signed up for the program. And like anything Rotary, they have all the tools and they equip us with all the tools and resources, but it's up to us at the end of the day to get it going. IVCF, International Vision Facilitation Council, has a website and it has incredible material on there, but districts can't access the main material unless they are signed up and have paid their dues. And I need to really reinforce this message. You pay a joining fee, and again, on the 1st of July, you get invoiced for the year ahead. If you do not submit your funds for following years, you are not allowed to continue doing club visioning events. And because we're Rotarians and we all abide by the four-way test, I know we'll all fall in line. Then the district club visioning chair has to market the events and the program to the clubs in the district. So he or she will have to get a really good team together and really push. And I think one of the good ways of perhaps getting interest from clubs is to say, if you have it virtually, it's not going to cost you anything. If you have an in-person, it might cost you a meal and a glass of water or just some tea and coffee, depending on the time of day. So cost-wise for clubs is minimal. So why are we backing this? What impact has it had so far in clubs throughout the world that have done club visioning? Okay, so it makes a difference in club membership growth, service awards, and Rotary Foundation giving. Now we know that we want to grow Rotary, we want to increase foundation giving. This program has helped that. Clubs that completed a club visioning event were almost 4 times more likely to have club membership growth than those who haven't done it. Clubs who complete a club visioning event were far more likely to receive recognition at district level. And clubs who complete club visioning were about 2 times more likely to have increased per capita Rotary Foundation giving. So why did we see a club visioning event making this difference? Because it provides clearer consensus and direction for a club, which excites members and helps members promote their Rotary club's initiatives. And we have fun while we do the club visioning process. If it's not fun, it's not Rotary. That's what Rotaracts tell me. So we need to bring the fun to the party. Earlier on, I mentioned that club visioning has been taken to Russia. You can imagine the conditions under which the Rotarians in Russia are operating. They are getting lambasted by many Rotarians because of decisions that government there have made. But let me tell you, since they were introduced and admitted to the program, they've reached 1/3 of all the clubs in Russia and are reporting that interest is high from the other clubs. Lack of progress is hampered only by lack of facilitators. That's why it's important to train as many facilitators as possible. And they are strongly working. Their club's main focus is peace. So it is impactful. Now, important information. Let's talk about things that need to be done in order for Governor Lyons to make an informed decision to introduce their program to the district. Your investment, support, time and financial. Please support it. RI Director Patrick is fully supportive of this program, and we know the vision of Samawori, and we know the vision of past Rotary International Vice President Yinka. Let us make this vision a reality by embracing this new program. Time, obviously your facilitators are volunteers, they don't get paid, so there is a time commitment. And cost, I'm sure all district treasurers will want to know, show me the money. To sign up, it's $250 per district. So that's not hard to put into a budget. And invoicing annually at the moment is $200. District 9210 has just been admitted for their $250. They will then be invoiced in July of next year for the following year. So really, for the impact that this can make, the commitment is small. I'm sure that all leaders want to make a difference. They want to leave a legacy of strong, vibrant, healthy clubs that are growing in membership, member engagement, contributions to Rotary, a better public image, and greater projects. Please, I encourage you, spread the word of club visioning. If your district governor line is not here, go and tell them about it. Tell them that you want to be admitted so that we can support our Rotary International Director Patrick in leaving a lasting legacy for Africa. Rotary is not an organization for retrospection. 100 years ago, this is the vision that Paul Harris made. Our immediate past Rotary International President, Jennifer Jones, is a certified club visioning facilitator. If she supports the program, surely it's important. We should be grabbing this opportunity to grow clubs and to grow Rotary in Africa. What are we waiting for? Be part of history where we see Africa rising. It is our time to shine. And the only way we can do that is through our clubs. Because in order to be a Rotarian or a Rotaractor, you have to join a club, and that's where it starts. And I'm more than happy to answer questions in the auditorium because I know we're short of time. Next step, you can contact me, ask me about club visioning. My WhatsApp and email details are there, or you can come and see me and I will give you the details again. Thank you, and I don't think we're going to have time for questions, but I am here this morning, so please, please come and see me. Thank you, obrigado, merci.
Thank you very much, PDG Leanne. I hope those few words from Leanne will enable us to start planning on how best we can start the program in our respective districts. You heard from Leanne that only the host district, 9210, has signed up. My question to you is, what are you waiting for? And as a zone, remember we're pushing for 50,000 membership by the end of next year, June, according to RID Patrick's goal. And one of the benefits from club visioning is membership growth. Also, not to mention increase in giving to our foundation. So there you have it, my fellow Rotarians. Let's try and sign up. Any questions, like Leanne said, please get in touch. And hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have more districts signed up in our zone. Thank you very much. And please get ready for our next session. Over to you.
Yeah. May I call the speakers to come up in front? Good morning. I hope we've been energized by the last talk, and I really want to thank PDG Leanne for that excellent talk on visioning. As we come to this segment talking about cervical cancer, I hope most of the clubs will be able to incorporate cervical cancer programs in their action as they vision for their clubs. Let me start by standing on the protocol list by DG Gabriel to save time. As I said, we're here to talk about cervical cancer. Yesterday, as I listened to news, there was a flash item that was going on Al Jazeera regarding a study which was published by the British Medical Journal on Wednesday, exposing the alarming rise in early onset cancer cases. The study, as I said, was alarming, as it revealed that there has been an almost 80% increase in cancer diagnosis among individuals aged below 50 years in the last 3 decades. Below 50 years, and you can imagine Africa depends on the human capital to increase their developmental goals. And if we are losing people below 50 years, I think that's alarming. And it's high time that Rotary did something more actively to help in stemming the tide against cancers. When you look at cervical cancer, and somebody might ask why cervical cancer, I think we all know the information that with approximately 604,000 new cases and 342,000 deaths reported in 2020, cervical cancer is the 4th most common cancer in women globally and the leading cause of cancer death in women in sub-Saharan Africa. And unfortunately, the low and middle income countries are actually very disproportionately affected by the disease. And more so in Africa, where a total of 177,000 new cases were reported in 2020 and 77,000 deaths were in Africa. Surely Rotary Club can do something to stem this high burden of disease. We're going to listen to 2 speakers explain to us how and why Rotary should get involved in the fight against cervical cancer as we strive to create hope in Africa. We're going to hear about the different action groups, the different screening programs, and what we can be able to do. So it's my honor and privilege to invite the first speaker, Sheila Hest, who has used professional experience as a doctor of education to write and consult on global and...
I wonder if we might start the slides.
Yes, okay. The slides, sorry, yeah, okay. Thank you. I think we can go to the next slide. Thank you. Sheila has used professional experience as a doctor of education to write and consult on global and district grants and projects, and has visited innovative and sustainable Rotary programs in more than 20 countries. She has served as assistant governor, district international service chair, and both co-chair and director of the Health Education and Wellness Rotary Action Group. And as an enthusiastic photographer, she is proud that her work has been selected to appear in Rotary publications and Rotary International Convention exhibits. Sheila is also honored to be a recipient of the Rotary International Service Above Self Award. So it's my honor and privilege to call upon Sheila to address us. Thank you. Flo.
And good morning, everyone. So we've heard some interesting statistics from Dr. Kasaba, but cervical cancer is preventable. Oops, sorry, I went the wrong way. There. All right. So in 2018, an estimated 570,000 women were diagnosed with cervical cancer worldwide, and about 311,000 women died of the disease. However, in 2020, the World Health Organization adopted a global strategy to eliminate cervical cancer as a public health issue. For the first time in history, the world has resolved to eliminate a cancer. Rotarians and Rotaractors and their families are people of action. Rotarians and Rotaractors and their families can help eliminate cervical cancer. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So here's one idea that we can start. You can work with a Rotary Action Group. Are you familiar with Rotary Action Groups? You know that they're independent, Rotary affiliated groups of people around the world who are experts in a particular field. And they work with clubs and districts on projects. And George, will you start our video? Thank you. So these are some testimonials from some people that you might recognize. And this website has, there we go, thank you.
Rotary Action Groups are a great resource because they have the expertise in their various subject matters to support clubs and districts with project implementation and execution.
Across the world, there's so many different action groups. There's one for environmental sustainability. We've got disaster response. We have water and sanitation.
If somebody wants to know how to build a toilet, drill a borehole, implement rainwater harvesting, for example, action groups have the expertise to enable the club to achieve its humanitarian goals.
They are not just Rotarians or Rotaractors. It could be, partners. It could be alumni.
A Rotarian doesn't have to be an expert because they're all at hand.
And when a club wants help, we link them with sources of funding, usually another club, but also to private donors and other foundations.
When you've got this group that has members from around the world in one particular focus, you can have an impact that is huge.
Pretty impressive, right? And back to the slides, if you will, please, George. Thank you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about one. There we go. Thanks. This, I have to tell you, the technical team here is amazing because there were some complications in doing what we just did. Do you know how many Rotary Action Groups there are? 26. About 36,000 Rotarians and others are members of Rotary Action Groups. You can make it 36,001, 36,002. You can join the 26 different action groups. Sometimes they have dues, sometimes they're free. You can see some other statistics there. There's a website with more information and a brochure, and there's a link to all the different action groups. What are the benefits to your clubs and to your districts? Well, obviously there are service opportunities because remember, these are action groups. New friends, these are global organizations. Partnerships and member engagement. We talk a lot about retention as well as recruitment. If people are engaged, then there's a more likelihood that they'll stay as members, right? We know about the 7 areas of focus. If you've been in Rotary for a long time, you might still remember that the original 6, and there is a 7th, as you know, which of course is protecting the environment. Rotary's 7 area of focus have action groups in each one of these. Sometimes there's only one action group about a particular area of focus. Sometimes there are more. You can see that disease prevention and treatment has a great number of Rotary action groups. This information is all online, myrotary.org. And the one we're going to talk briefly about now is the one that Carl Diekman and I are involved with, which is Health, Education, and Wellness Rotary Action Group. Now, this started about 10 years ago when we had a project called Kenya Smiles. Geeta Manik then was the district governor. She worked with the district governor from District 5160, our district, to create a children's oral health and nutrition project. It was about a $200,000 global grant that went global and is continuing now. When that project was ended, the funding was ended from the original global grant. We had a network that was built up. We had people that were motivated. We had a curriculum, and we didn't want to let all that energy just disappear. So we looked at starting a Rotary Action Group. Well, it happened that there was the World Fair Health, then it was called Rotarian Action Group, one of the original 10. So we worked with them because they were kind of reorganized, and we created HURAG. The woman in the middle, in the green jacket on the top row, is Jane Little. She and I were co-chairs for 6 years. She's a past district governor from Alaska. And these were some of the places that we went. The motto is Rotarians working together. The word collaboration has been brought up a lot, hasn't it, Alina, during this time? And it's a mantra for many of us, working together to improve world health. So now we have a number of different areas of emphasis. Our goals are to promote good health. You can see what they are. It's a little hard for me to read over there. To achieve and maintain good public health. And then number 3 is something that I think we're all concerned about and working on, to build awareness, to provide education, and to promote information. So these are our original 3 areas of emphasis. I explained to you about oral health and medical missions. I'm sorry, health fairs and medical missions, oral health. And now in 2015, John Hugo came to us and said that the American Cancer Society had reached out to him to see if Rotary wanted to, was willing to, was motivated and prepared to work on preventing and eliminating cervical cancer. Our Rotary Action Group took on the challenge, and that's one of our major emphasis. And next speaker.
The next speaker is Carl Diekman, and he's been a Rotarian for 40 years. And he brings his public safety career experience to his role as the Rotary Cadre Technical Officer and Director for the Health, Education, and Wellness Rotary Action Group. Combined with his experience as a past district governor and past district foundation chair, Carl uses his professional skills to support Rotarians and Rotary clubs as they prepare and implement Rotary projects. And while Carl has experience with a wide range of projects, his focus in recent years has been on cervical cancer prevention and other health-related activities. Carl is most proud to have achieved or received the Rotary Foundation citation for meritorious service. So it's a pleasure and honor to introduce Carl to speak to you on cervical cancer. Go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, what I'm really most proud of is being able to tell you that I value the friendship that Dr. Kasaba and I have been able to develop over the past few years as we've met each other over projects here in Zambia. But today we're talking about cervical cancer prevention, and in the definition, so the World Health Organization adopted a plan to eliminate cervical cancer. It is not a short-term project. It looks a lot like the timeline for our polio project, but they've broken it down into decades of progress. The goal, the overarching goal of this project is to eliminate cervical cancer. All countries must reach and maintain an incidence of a rate of below 4 per 100,000 women. And I think you'll get the idea of that as we go along just a little bit here. So this, and I've taken the countries off of this because this is really the heart of the problem. If you look at this chart, you can see that mortality is very high in what would be termed as in low resource countries. And over here, you see that the incidence for low resource as compared to high resource is quite disparate. So each country, as part of this project, should get to a goal of 90, 70, 90, which are 90% of the young girls receive vaccination by the age of 15. Each country is a little bit different, so the age parameter is there. But the reason this vaccine is focused now on young girls is because of basically a limited supply of the vaccine. It is becoming better, and it is hoped by 2024 that there will be ample supply around the world. But for now, the target is on that group of young girls. The second one is screening, to screen 70% of the women for the HPV lesions that lead to cervical cancer. And this is broken down into 2 tests. Now, each country and each region has different standards and different approaches to this, but this project is primarily aimed at developing a screening system where it doesn't exist today. And then finally, they want to treat 90% of the women with precancerous conditions and also to deal with the women with invasive cancer. I would just tell you, I was introduced to this subject by an oncologist friend of mine, and he described to me 2 things that he thought were very important. One of them is that this disease is preventable. But more importantly, when women get it and they go through the process of dying from it, and their families go the process of living with them after they have passed from the disease, it is a terrible experience for everyone, and many families do not ever recover from it. And that's one of the reasons this is a very important subject. Now, we've written a book. It's a short little pamphlet. I have a flyer over here with a QR code in it. You can download it. You can go to our website and download it. But it's just a Rotarian Guide to Cervical Cancer Prevention. It's in its 4th edition now. And it hopefully gives Rotarians some tools that they can think about how they can be involved. Because any Rotarian in any Rotary Club anywhere can be involved in eliminating cervical cancer in big and small ways. So here's what we believe that Rotarians can focus on. They can focus on advocacy and immunization. Education, I'm sorry, advocacy and education, immunization, elimination of the things, of the lesions that lead to cervical cancer, treatment for people with cancer, and palliative care. And let's see if I can talk a little bit about those. So the World Health Organization plan is 90% of girls being fully vaccinated with the HPV vaccine by the age of 15. Well, Rotarians can advocate in their communities to the people who need the service, and they can advocate to the leaders who can help bring the vaccines to the communities, whether they be the private industry or the government agencies. And then, of course, they can organize immunization efforts, whether they be in schools or in community settings, but these are things that Rotarians can do. The screening, again, 70% of the women screened through using high performance testing by the age of 35 and again at 45. This HPV testing is really coming of age these days. 5 or 6 years ago, it was really not very well out in the marketplace. But what it does, when you can do HPV testing, of your ability to identify the people who are in need of services, it is something that people can do. Remember our COVID tests? I bet some people in this room took a COVID test. Well, it's very much like that self-testing with COVID tests in the aspect of how you test, but it is also very much like the PCR test, where the tests go to a laboratory for analysis. That technology is rapidly advancing, and I think we're going to be surprised how easy that will be in the next few years. Rotarians can help buy the equipment to do the testing. They can hold clinics where the test kits can be distributed to people and they can be examined, and they can help the community health workers follow through and to advise people on how they can be treated and when they need to be. And then the treatment, they want 90% of the women who have the disease or have the potential for the disease receive proper treatment. Some of this is done in a very clinical setting, very easy to do. Clinicians can be taught to do it easily, and some of it is more advanced. One of the great projects that I saw was down in South Africa. It was a palliative care project. You know, even sometimes we have to care for those people who get the disease and have no hope for treatment. And Rotary Club down in Rosebank, I believe was South Africa, did a great project a few years ago. So Rotarians can do that. But I wanted to show you this slide because this is about advocacy. And if you look at this, there are different ways to advocate. And I'm going to turn my head a little bit because that's hard to see. But in the top left-hand side, that's where we were just in Cairo, Egypt for the launch of the End Cervical Cancer Project, the recent Program of Scale project in Cairo, Egypt. And we went out to a slum organization. It was set up for the women there. And we talked to the families about the need to get their children vaccinated. And we also talked to the women about the need for them to be examined. And that's just how Rotarians can go out and do that. Now, the bottom left photo, this was taken in Nicaragua a few years ago. We were running a clinic down there. And that's Carol Cruikshank. She was leading our program. And she's talking to the women who had come in from the villages to be part of our testing program that day. I think a great thing happened. Not only do you do the cervical cancer there, but she told them they should take HIV tests. They found a positive woman in there. Then every woman in that group got tested for both HPV and HIV. The woman with HIV started treatment the next day, and everybody went home in a better situation. Now, who else can participate in advocacy? See the lady in the middle? I should know her name, but she's a famous movie star in Egypt. And she came to the launch of the Program of Scale in Cairo the other night. She's the type of person, through Connections of Rotary, came out. If you look at the top right-hand photo, those are business people, business leaders who came and helped to advocate for the launch of this program in Egypt. Those are people who you can bring to advocacy. And then the larger group on the bottom right-hand side is the Rotary Club, El Tahir, I believe it's called. And they were the launch club for this project. And that's a big meeting of all these people to talk about how important this program was. That meeting got great coverage in the media and all. This is some statistics. I just wanted to show this. This is, again, the project in Nicaragua. The team on the left, we got 50 clinicians to go down to Nicaragua and train up in 5 clinics on how to do the procedures to examine women for HPV virus and to treat them. We ended up outfitting the 5 clinics, but you can see we ended up getting 33 trainees licensed and certified to perform these procedures after we left, and we outfitted the 5 clinics with the necessary equipment. Now, everybody, I just remember we were in Nigeria a few years ago at a district conference talking about this issue. Well, the first question that I was asked, what about men? Well, it's true. We all have some interest in ourselves. And I just want you to know the HPV vaccine also addresses these other types of cancers. And you might notice a couple up there that affect men. So it is true. The target now is young girls, but that is a strategic approach to solving a problem and in a generation or so eliminating a disease. And then I wanted to show you this slide. This was from the launch of the End Cervical Cancer, United to End Cervical Cancer in Egypt. This is their launch photo. We thought it was a great experience, and we think they're going to have a great deal of success. And then this is the strategic objectives of their project, the End Cervical Cancer Now project in Cairo. I'm very proud to see Rotarians get this program a scale grant because it is something within our wheelhouse. Finally, I would like to tell you that tomorrow at 2 o'clock, 1400, we are going to have a session in room AG01. You are welcome to come visit with us, and we'll answer any questions you have. And certainly we're available to consult with anyone, anytime, anywhere. I think that probably should get me to the end of my talk. Thank you very much.
Another big hand of applause to the speakers for keeping to time. I know that Carl had a lot of information to go through and they really cruised through the presentation. And feel free to get in touch with the two speakers. You don't have to wait for Saturday, even today and tomorrow morning as we interact. You may be able to get to them to get more information. I think one of the takeaway messages from the two presentations is the fact that cervical cancer is actually one of the priority areas, or one of the emphasis, one of the areas of emphasis in Rotary. And protecting women from cervical cancer is critical to preserving Rotary's commitment to and investments in maternal health, HIV, and other global efforts to safeguard the lives of women. The second takeaway message is the fact that cervical cancer is preventable. I mean, most of the times when we think of cancer, we think of a death sentence. We think of no cure. But I think as we come out from here, we need to go home knowing that cervical cancer is preventable. Cervical cancer is treatable if it's actually diagnosed in the early stages, and cervical cancer, as by WHO, can be eliminated. So it's a great opportunity for Rotary Club to make a difference and eliminate this scourge which is killing many women prematurely in Africa. As Rotarians, we are uniquely positioned through our worldwide network to make enormous leaps of progress to the quality of life for the people in the communities where we live, where we work and play. And as we heard from Sheila's presentation, I think from the slide, from the video, you do not need to be an expert to get involved in the fight against cervical cancer. Use your skills, use your Rotary Club skills to be able to make that difference and add decades to the life of expectancy of millions of women and the chance to improve the quality of life for everyone. So thank you so much. I don't think we have time for questions. How many minutes do we have? We've done very well. We've got 3. So maybe we can have, yes, we can have 2 questions. Yes, Stella.
Thank you very much to the speakers. And I am glad that this came up, especially since we've just got a global grant for cervical cancer prevention. One of the slides mentioned that the plan is to vaccinate women by the age of 35 with a highly effective vaccine, and again at 45. What if you go to a community where there are women 50 and over and who've not been vaccinated? What do you do? What do you propose? Thank you.
I think, so the question was about vaccination, but then women. Actually, and I may have misspoke, the vaccination program is aimed at young girls right now. Ultimately, some countries vaccinate both young boys and girls. The objective, and the vaccines are improving. They started out with 3 doses, then 2 doses. Now there's some 1 doses. But that goal is to prevent them from getting the lesions that cause HPV. The examination for older women.
It's for screening. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
It wasn't vaccination.
Yeah.
It was screening.
Some countries, women get pap smears every year, and some don't. And we know in many low resource countries, only about 3 to 15% of the population even gets at. The idea right now is to target at these two groups because they have the greatest likelihood of identifying the greatest number of problems. But you will see over time that screening approach will change as resources become more available and the population needing it gets lower.
Yes, there's a hand behind.
Yes, thank you very much. I have a suggestion as to how we can reach many women. We can write it on the back of the immunization, polio immunization, because the mothers bring the children for immunization. And so that is where we can reach the mothers of women of childbearing age to vaccinate them or to screen them. So we can have two programs tied into one instead of running parallel programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that brilliant suggestion. And I think a lot of countries are actually thinking about integrating the immunization into EPI programs. I think what has been the challenge is the cost, as he talked about, and just the confusion that arises because usually EPI is under child services, whilst the HPV is usually under the safe motherhood. So I think it's all a matter of integrating the services and people working together, but it's a brilliant thing. I think integration is the way to go. So I promised 2 questions and I think we've run out of time. So another big hand of applause to the speakers and to the chair as well for maintaining time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning. Are you happy and you know wave to me? Yes, that sounds like it. That is a good. My name is Eric Kimani, past district governor and the chair of Rotary Family Health, LIFA as we call it, for Africa. And today I am going to be putting up a panel for you of very honorable Rotarians. They are all Rotarians. And the question I want you to answer to yourself by the time I finish, I have 2 questions for you. Please listen. What do you know about LIFA? I will ask those 2 questions at the end. And secondly, why are you not part of it if you are not? So I want you to listen with your heart to what will be said here. Shira Haas has told you about Rotary Action Groups. This is one of the top 3 in my estimation in the Rotary world, LIFA. And to fire us out, because we have no time to tell you a little more, we've been given 30 minutes, it's being cut to a little less, but because they had prepared, I would try to push them to keep within time. To start us off will be our CEO. I will introduce them as they come again because we have no time for introductions. Our CEO has worked with the founder, Marion Bunch, those of you who remember Marion, for the last 12 years. And she is a repository of knowledge on LIFA. And I will invite our CEO, Sue Paget, to be our first speaker and tell us, who is RIFA and what do they do, Sue? Please listen with your heart.
Morning, everybody. Thank you, Eric. And what a pleasure it is to be here today to address all of you once again on another successful year of impactful service in Africa. Can I say up front that together we have once again demonstrated the power of collaboration and compassion in transforming lives and communities across Africa. In reflecting on RIFA today, I'm reminded of an African phrase that loosely translated says, "A person is a person through other people." It is this sentiment that is at the core of all that RIFA and our program strives to achieve. RIFA is the action group, which we've heard from Eric this morning for family health and AIDS prevention, and our signature program is the Rotary Family Health Days. Our vision is to save and improve lives through integrated, community-based preventative health care. We are in our 12th year of executing the program in 16 countries in Africa and in India. And the focus of the program is to reach underserved communities who lack access to vital and life-saving health screenings, education, and care. And when I think of what we do and how we do this, the power of Rotary still astounds me. This is a Rotarian-driven program and is delivered through a public-private partnership model. The Rotary brand enables us to bring together all sectors of society in countries in which we work. They have defined roles and responsibilities, and we work together with in-country ministries of health, the US missions through the PEPFAR-funded agencies of the CDC and the USAID, the private sector, both externally and internally within countries, Rotary districts and clubs, the media, most importantly, the community, and hundreds of NGOs, not to mention, of course, the thousands of volunteers across the Rotary world who make it all happen. RIFA's role in all of this is that of the managing partner. We are responsible for the quality assurance, the program consistency, the partnership development, fundraising and development, reporting, development of how-to manuals and toolkits for the countries in which we operate, training, and the implementation of a robust monitoring and evaluation system which tracks outputs and impact of the work that we do. On various sites over 3 days, we deliver free integrated preventative community healthcare services and referrals for follow-on care, both for communicable and non-communicable diseases. Sites and services are selected in consultation with in-country ministries of health so that we always align to country operational plans of that Ministry of Health. The beneficiaries who arrive at our sites can expect to receive screening and testing for HIV and AIDS, TB, cancers, diabetes, blood pressure, sexually transmitted diseases, hepatitis, cholesterol, malaria, nutritional state, neglected tropical diseases. Immunizations are also included, as for polio, measles, and HPV. Health education and counseling on mental health, alcohol and substance abuse, gender-specific health issues, family planning, and more. And in meeting with one of our potential partners, he said to me across the table, he said, "I suddenly get what RIFA is doing. he said, "You are bringing the health carnival to town." And I thought that was a beautiful way of saying exactly what the Rotary Family Health Days do.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So put your hands together for Sue. Let me speak to Nigeria. Bola, 12 years you've done this. You are the epitome of success. Say something about it.
Right. Thank you, Eric. The experience has been quite phenomenal, especially in Nigeria, where we started firstly in West Africa. We started with only one district, and right now we have 4 districts in Nigeria. All districts in Nigeria are fully involved in it. So far, we've been having close to like 117,000 clients that are fully involved. And practically all the district governors are supportive of it. And what we look for is more people to get more engaged in it. We know very well that not everybody, not all the clubs in the districts, in all the 4 districts in Nigeria are fully involved. But we know very well over time, more and more districts are coming up, more clubs are coming up to it. And it's something that we look forward to.
Brilliant. 110 clubs last year took part in the 3-day activity in Nigeria. Imagine 110 Rotary clubs, not Rotarians. Some, Zimbabwe is our new kid on the block. Can you speak to it? And Bora, would you put off your mic so that it don't, Bora, put off your mic? Okay, yeah, okay, so.
Thank you, good morning, everyone. Zimbabwe launched its pilot just this last June. And just speaking to what the program can do and what it has done in Zimbabwe, having launched in June, we've managed to service in excess of 3,700 patients. And remember, this was a pilot and we are still to get everything, into optimum, position in terms of efficiencies and so forth. Now, just thinking that when we go on to our second phase, the impact that we can bring through the program could be something, which has not been thought of before in terms of, the numbers which could benefit, our communities through this program. So we do believe that this really has been a program which has been in the waiting, and we would really want to promote it more. Thank you.
Great, great. Well done. Put your hands together for Past Assistant Governor. Emmanuel, Ghana is the king of global grants for RIFA. As a district, as a country, you do so well with global grants, which many of us can do, but we don't know. Can you speak to it a little?
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, everyone. So Ghana, we started ours in 2014. The first year, we had a grant of about $43,500. And then we scaled it up the following year, 2015, we had about $140,000, and 2016 as well. But we skipped 2017 for 1 or 2 reasons. And then the fourth year, which was 2017, we decided to split it with the other Francophone countries, that is Togo, Benin, and Niger. We were District 9102. So all in all, over the 4-year session, we have had total grant of $427,000. And over the period, we have been able to attend to 173,000 health seekers or beneficiaries.
Brilliant. Please appreciate Ghana for that leadership. So we are moving away from just global grants. We are moving away from just working with just Rotary and Rotary clubs worldwide. Can you talk about the new development, the new exciting developments happening? Mic on.
As RIFA, we need to continue to foster new initiatives. We all know that funding is a challenge for all of us. So we continue to strengthen and develop new partnerships and funding models. And currently, I'm really excited to say and to announce that we are working very closely with Abbott Pharmaceuticals, with Ilovo Sugar, which is the largest sugar producer on the African continent, and Philips Pharmaceuticals in Nigeria, and other multinational corporations to develop a Pan-African partnership between the organizations and RIFA to assist in executing these Rotary Family Health Days, because our goal is to be in every African country where we have a Rotary footprint. The other very exciting news that, in fact, not even our board knows, Dean and I are party to it, but I'd like to announce here today that RIFA heard yesterday that we are the recipient of a second grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has come through, and that is in support of a gender intentional lens, both into the organization of RIFA Inc., but also touching into all the programs that we run. So again, this is an exciting development for RIFA, that we can start integrating this vital component into the work that we do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well done. This is in addition to $3 million awarded by Bill and Melinda Gates to do 6 countries, among them Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Mozambique, and then Nigeria. So you can imagine what we are talking about. Bola, would you share a little statistics just can help the listeners?
All right, thanks very much for that, Eric. Part of the statistic we have is that I will use Nigeria as study because Nigeria is where I operate from. We've moved from a level of where people are from about 50,000 people that are receiving the services in the last 11 years to a level where we are now having over 110,000 people. And that's huge. And not only do we have women increasing in number, we're having even men also accepting it. And many of the women are coming up with their children also. Now, also, we also expanded the number of services we've always had. Initially, we have close to like 20 to 40 services. Now we're having even more services that are coming in from angles where we're not expecting from. So ultimately, what it means is that it's expanding and we're enjoying that.
Excellent. Please put off your mic if you are not speaking so that it doesn't give them an echo. But thank you for that, Bola. Let me come back to you, Sam. One of the reasons that RIFA is so respected is our excellent monitoring and evaluation. Can you speak to it so that we can hear?
Yeah, thanks so much for that question, Eric. I think that's one good investment which RIFA has made in terms of the monitoring and evaluation, because that actually helps one realize the amount of impact which the program is making in the communities. So I know as RIFA, in terms of the Rotary Family Health Days, you've actually invested in a standalone M&E department, which really has been very beneficial because we can now account for the services provided and the impact that those services has made in our communities. So I think that really has paid dividend in terms of how we can improve the service, in future, and how best we can also get our efficiencies, up in terms of how we deliver the program.
Thank you. Emmanuel, last question for you. What can you tell the Rotarian leaders here that Ghana can help in leadership?
Right, thanks for that. I think it's very important. I think as Zimbabwe, we now have proof of concept when it comes to the program. It's something we now really believe in because looking at the time we launched and when we've been able to interact with the communities, we had a situation where we had one of the patients come through. We had been waiting for services for a period in extent of 8 months. They had not been able, to consult a medical doctor, but they'd had this ailment for 8 months. So it paints that picture that we might think that everything is okay and the public systems in our communities are able to cope. But from what we are discovering on the ground, it's something that's totally different. So to the leadership here, I believe that if we could get more support for the Rotary Family Health Days programs, this is something that's going to directly impact our communities in terms of service delivery in the health sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Sue, you are our vision carrier. And I'll give you a last opportunity to say something about LIFA.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. My last comment is that through continued collective collaboration with the private sector and governments, Rotary Family Health Days play their part in building and strengthening healthcare systems in communities. There is no doubt. We do it through education, through governance, through empowerment, and through leadership. And we do respond to the national and global challenges that face our continent. Over 3 million beneficiaries, over 11 million health services, thousands of referrals for follow-on care, and a program that's value multiplies a return on cash donations of 45-1. We know that our prevention program is needed even more than ever, along with our data, which is shared through our monitoring and evaluation. And one last sentence, Eric, because everyone knows I can talk forever. The world's health challenges show us that our continent of Africa is disproportionately impacted with people most affected by existing disease, the poor, the marginalized, and those without access to health care. This is exactly the space in which we operate. Good health not only affects the individual, but has a huge spin-off at family, community, corporation, and government country level. We are needed more than ever, and I thank all the participants sitting in this room, and as I said last night, really the lifeblood of RIFA. It's thanks to you that we are able to serve in the capacity that we do. Thank you.
Excellent. Put your hands together for our CEO. Thank you. Our chair, past vice president of Rotary and past trustee Dean. Yesterday we signed an agreement with my district. 12 years later, we are late, but it's never too late. I want to give you an opportunity to speak to LIFA, my chair. Say something about LIFA.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, everybody. I'm a very, very proud Rotarian sitting here today, knowing that I am associated with Rotary Family Health Days. Rotary is at a crossroads. Rotary has to change. We are at a point where we are competing on many, many levels for people to be our members, for the services that we render. The more efficient and the more professional we become in delivering our product, the greater our impact will be upon the markets that we serve. We serve community health. In doing so, we have now had to develop these partnerships to make it possible for us to have the funding, to have the reach and the impact that we have. We are fortunate that we are trusted enough by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, by people like Abbott, by all the others that Sue have mentioned. We can't do it just on volunteerism anyway. We have expanded beyond the reach of the old ways of doing service. We need professionalism in what we do, and unfortunately in this modern world, we pay for professionalism. So having partners that can help and guide us, as we have seen in the malarial impact in programs of scale, that's a lot of money that was brought to the table. A lot of money was spent to make that happen. RIFA has moved into that type of delivering of product. We work under the ethics of Rotary,
We work under the laws of the country, but we work in a way where we deliver a service in the most efficient, cost-effective, and depth that we can as Rotarians under the blanket of the ethics of Rotary. So I think I want to say that what we do is that we leave communities who are having their healthcare attended to. We provide a consistent program. You know what you're getting when you do a health day with RIFA. We leave health workers and communities with better training and understanding of their needs, never mind the access that they have. We serve the objectives of polio elimination because of our vaccination and polio focus during our health days. And our work with providing the healthcare for companies like Ilovo mean a greater economic impact on not only those companies that are bringing economy into and money into, the workers for those companies. They are better looked after, they are cared for in a better way, there's value for them. But look what it does to the economy of the country, because you are helping an efficiency of healthcare. We move into a society where corporate social responsibility is becoming the buzzword. Companies are accountable to their stakeholders. Through RIFA, we provide a Rotary service to communities that would not have the care before. We do it only because of our partners, because of the funding. We do it only because of the professionalism and the skills of the people we work with. And we do it only because of people like you that give of your time, your volunteerism, and your service to Rotary. So thank you for being part of this journey with us. And we would invite everybody to join us.
Makofi, thank you. Well done, our chair. Thank you, thank you. It's been 20 minutes and I know I'm under pressure for time, but I guarantee you I'll finish in less than 10 minutes. So that is LIFA, Rotary's premium entry into the area of focus, disease prevention and treatment, managed by an international board of very distinguished past RI directors and past vice presidents. But I want to give you further testimony. If you are here and your country runs LIFA, or you are involved in any way, can you stand up? In any way, in any way. If your country works with LIFA, in any way, stand up. If you are not studying, you are missing an opportunity. Please put your hands together for them. You may sit down. Finally for me is to allow only 2 consecutive questions in succession. If I take an opportunity to answer, we will. If we are not, so can I see, is there anybody with a question or comment? Yes, at the back there, 1. Next, followed by the lady here. The lady? Yeah, here, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Mike Kennedy Sevalu from District 9213, Uganda. And I would like to say we have a very long association and we could possibly have a bit of a mustard seed of this, but it has gotten to a level where the success story of any club or where any club that doesn't have any project to implement, at least implements the Rotary Family Health Days. So it has taken that universal appeal, outreach, and outlook, and it is really doing good in the communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Uganda is one of our greatest success. Now they do global grants 100% on LIFA. 1.
Thank you very much.
what I wanted to say, my colleague has said it. We have our own representative right at the top table there, PDG Bola Oyebade. I just want to advise all districts here present that for us in our district, if a club has nothing, nothing to do as the project, that club will have Rotary Family Elders project to do. And so kudos to us in D910, and thank you, PDG Oyebade, for what you have brought to us. Thank you.
Great testimony. I have had 2 testimonies. Put your hands together for them. Any final question or comment? Yes, sir. That's the last one. George from South Africa. George and Raj do very well with the Family Health Days in South Africa. Your mic is off. Use that code dress. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PDG Eric. I am George Senusha from District 9400. I am not going to ask a question, but I'm going to pass a comment. We have seen how Rotary Family Health Days can be impacted in the hard to reach areas in South Africa. We have leveraged that with what we called the Rotary Community Corps, which are formed by communities in those areas. And why Rotary Community Corps? For the community to solve their own problems through the guidance of the existing Rotary clubs. Clubs in the urban areas are finding it difficult to reach those areas. Hence, the Rotary Community Corps are helping that situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, DG George, for those comments. We have 4 minutes to our time, and I want to honor the people who gave us the time scales. But I want to say that if you want to know more about this, our country coordinators are here. Beyond these country coordinators who are here, if there is any other country coordinator, would you stand up? I know, yeah, there is one there, there is one there, there are many, yes, Hatch, there are many country coordinators. Please go to them or come to us. But I also put some brochures on the aisles. If you're interested, just pick a brochure, come back to us, and we can promise you that this is perhaps the one thing that excites every Rotarian who joins Rotary. And everybody gets a thing to do through the Rotary Family Health Days. So if you don't know anything, if you have not passed my exam, have you, you know the learning objective, Yinka, you taught me this. Have we achieved our learning objective of this morning? Then put your hands together for my panel. Please, my panel, you may take your seat. Thank you. You may take your seat. Thank you. Thank you. PDG Rusi, you'll be happy I've saved the time. Thank you. But these people have traveled, so they have done a good job to do this. Eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dear friends, once again, let's put our hands together. Tree Family Health Days. We are at the crossroad in terms of health, and we are combining all our focus areas in the Rotary Family Health Days. And as you heard from Dean Rose, that the polio that we are facing, particularly in this part of the world, is being strengthened by the activities of the Rotary Family Health Days. So this is a program that is absolutely a cherry on top of what Rotary is doing under polio, because it's adding on and bringing together everything. I would like now to just say that we have run over the break time by over 20 minutes. So half an hour actually. So I would like to appeal to all of us to please go for our break and back in 15 minutes. Please, let's utilize both sides. If you haven't gone out this side, try this side. And those that have been going out my left, please try going on my right now and meet a few others that you may have. Oh no, we have to try and crisscross so that we meet everyone. So let's be back in 15 minutes and thank you so much.
They're doing this too late. They should have done this too late.
Hello, can we come in and settle down, please?
Yes. Ah, Mr. Godi, I don't have any problem. You have a meeting with the
Baba, how are you?
Remember that challenge? Because we talked about it. I was the one who
that people can't remember that you thought I should do.
Shall we take our seats, please? Hello, everyone. Please take our seats. Take our seats. It's time to start. We'll ignore you guys. Thank you. Yeah, Rotarian minutes are longer than others. Come on in, please. Let's sit down. Shall we settle down, please, in the aisles? Right, we're about to start our final session. Please settle down in the aisles, get into your seats. Calling Simon. 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 That's fine. Right, thank you. Thank you everyone for settling down quickly. I would like to call our session leaders. Mayan.
Good evening, my friends. Would you like to kindly have your seats so that we can get over with? And I would like to invite my friends, my colleagues, Arpik Ibim Simonintari and Arpik Venus Kulul. Can we please start? And if you can have your seats, please. I know we are very much pressed in time, so we need to finish quickly before we go to lunch and then start our opening ceremony. So please help us to finalize our last session before we break up. Please have your seats, please. If you can give it to me. Yes, give it to me. We're going to start our session, and this is one of the very important sessions, I believe, in Rotary, tackling a very important aspect. As we do not have time for many introductions, you all know the topics. We have the fundamental strategies for how to use our tools in public image to be able to tell our story and to be able to show the world who we are. And the other topic will be using our social media also to tell our stories and to enhance our public image. I would like to call to start my friend Arpik Ibim Simonintari from District 9141 to give us the second for 15 minutes, the strategies of the public image. Thank you.
Thank you, PDG Mayan. And thank you, friends. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, I mean, you had such a good time last night. You don't want to say good morning back? Good morning. Thank you. Okay, so we're told we have to race through our presentation. We'll do our best. We just don't know if you're going to grab it, but we'll try and hope that you won't make us cry with bad branding. So yes, why do we have to do this? Why is public image important? Because we want more members, we want to grow Rotary, and because we want more money for the foundation. No? Great. So if we don't tell our stories properly, and if we don't use our brand properly, then we can't reach our full potential. We can't bring more people into Rotary, and we have a problem. Now, this is what we promise as Rotarians, right? We promise that we unite leaders across all continents and cultures and occupations to exchange ideas and take action for communities around the world. That's the promise we make. So we say we're global, and I say scratch that. We're actually borderless. We have no borders. We're all leaders. We're focused on a common goal. We're inclusive, so all ideas, all suggestions have a space. Everyone is welcome. We're knowledgeable. We're experts who exchange ideas and we take action. And you'll find out why this is important. So all of these things we promise is summed up in our voice and visual guidelines, our look and our feel, how we look, how we speak, and how people feel when they listen to us. All of that brand promise is captured in our look and feel. Summary of our voice and visual guidelines. We need to show Rotary in a consistent and compelling way that forces people to recognize our brand every time they see it. We need to talk about Rotary in ways that excite people and so that they understand the impact we make. So it's not enough to know about Rotary. They just know about Rotary. We want people to understand Rotary. And that's why we must strengthen. So when we tell stories about what our club is doing and the difference we're making, we're able to get new members. That's one reason we must get our public image right. When we tell stories about the work our members are doing, and when we use them as people of action and showcase them, then we inspire them to do more. They're happy that they get recognition. They're glad to see that the work they're doing makes meaning, and so they stay in Rotary. About those who we want to get money from. When they know that all of that polio vaccination that people are taking comes from the money that Rotary brings, then they want to give more. When they know that the malaria program in Zambia is because Rotary funded it, then they want to give more money because they don't want malaria in Zambia. When they understand that the cervical cancer vaccine in Egypt is because of Rotary, then they want to give more. Why? We must tell our stories. Help us build a stronger image in your community. Publicize your activities. You're doing so much. Share your stories and share them well. Present Rotary as a vibrant organization whose members are constantly and actively creating positive change in the communities they reside across the world. So let's go to the fundamentals of your PI strategy. What's the first thing in our four-way test, everybody? Come on, this is a classroom. What's the first thing in our four-way test?
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth? So in your public image, that's the first question you must answer. Tell the truth. Let the public know who we are and what we do. Be clear on what Rotary can do. Don't promise the moon when you can only stop at the stars. The second thing we must do is prove it with action. We are people of action. So we've got to change perception by showing action. Listen to members and beneficiaries of the work we do, and let their testimonials talk about what Rotary does. Use their stories and let their emotions come through. Manage for tomorrow, anticipate tomorrow and plan. And yes, every club or district might have crisis at some point. Always have a crisis communication plan. Keep it simple and keep it easy. Prioritize public image. Can you guys say that for me? Please say it. I didn't hear you.
Prioritize public image.
Thank you. Don't give us 40 minutes towards the end of the pictures of the stage. Please, thank you. Realize that Rotary's true character is expressed by its members. The logo is important, but who you are, what you do, how you speak, and how you live your life using the four-way test is really what the character of Rotary is. So please don't say you're a Rotarian and do things that will embarrass us in the community. And finally, no ruffled feathers. When there is crisis, or when there is confusion, or when your district has maybe a problem, or your club, stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. That's critical in public relations. When things get nasty, don't lose your cool. Figure out a way around it and keep smiling. Ensure you take control of the communication channels. Whether it's the WhatsApp group, sometimes you just stop everybody else from chatting. Your Facebook page, take control. TikTok and Twitter, don't let someone tell your story. Find a way to tell your story and tell it right. What are the tools we can use to enhance our public image? Social media. And these are some examples from our clubs. Post photos that reflect your club's diversity. All right? Let's tell those stories and show everyone in the pictures. Invite your followers to learn more about your activities. Events. Plan events that interest your community. Big events, and I'm sure we'll be sharing some beautiful stories towards the end. There was something that Rotary in Egypt did, and everyone was like, wow, big events, do that. Your club website. Sadly, almost every district here doesn't update. So maybe after today, commitment, district governors, can I see your hands, please? Okay, thank you, Michael. But district governors, do you promise to please update your website? I'll be watching, and next year in Mauritius, we have a prize. Thank you. Partnerships. Rotary speaks partnerships. The more the partners work with local organizations to increase your visibility and your impact. Director Patrick has done a great thing for us, a partnership with IOD. Seize the moment. Now, a bit of goofiness because it's public image and we like to play. So Rotary, the fifth of the four-way test is, was it fun? I'm going to let Vino take it from here, but never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. In fact, that's the only thing that ever has. Vino.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Everything that Ibim said, we will find it again in this part. We're talking here specifically about using digital platforms to build the Rotary image for your clubs and district. We tend to ignore digital platforms, but this is the window on the world. We tend to talk about ourselves, maybe too much, and you shouldn't forget that when we talk about public image, the first word that we have there is public. So the outer world, because we need to attract them to us. So if you have digital platforms, this will help you to reach your goals. It helps to promote Rotary in these programs, the foundation, your clubs and district, and especially to reach potential members, to get donors and sponsor attention, be seen by the authorities because you need them, and especially to influence the media. So some of the platforms that you're familiar with, number one, like Ibim said, is your club or your district website. Of course, you have WhatsApp for group discussions or to connect with members, but those 6 that you see on screen are the mostly used by Rotarians. You can see each one of them have a particular reach. I have added LinkedIn there. You'll have an idea of why LinkedIn is important. So I will take those 3 because they relate much to us. So take, for example, Facebook. They reach mostly people between 18 and 54. And this is a very good platform for you to share your photos, your stories, your videos, your write-ups. You can create events and invite public. You can invite the audience to join your projects and events. You can interact with that audience and you get followers, likes, reactions. You create a community around your projects and around your club. And this is an ideal platform to promote Rotary, your clubs, projects, and fundraising. LinkedIn, I'm coming to that one. I think this is the most important for us. LinkedIn have a population reaching 25 to 34. There are young professionals there. You have decision makers, you have enterprises and major brands, and you reach high income earners. And this is ideal for membership growth and fundraising. Of course, YouTube reaches all ages. It's very good for storytelling, interviews, event coverage, and live streaming. And this is ideal to showcase your projects and achievements. So some posts that you can use to keep going on social media. For example, you can borrow contents from Rotary International platforms. You can post people of action contents. You can talk about your projects and fundraising activities in a storytelling manner. And you always show photos and videos of Rotarians and Rotaractors in action, not selfies and group photos. Like I said, you're talking to the public. Please, please avoid those photos of meetings, selfies, group photos, member anniversaries, and so on and so forth. We're not saying you shouldn't do that. You can do it if you create a private group on Facebook or WhatsApp where you can share all your happy moments, whatever it is. I hope you know that we have a refreshed website on Rotary.org where things are being simplified even more. It was simple, it's now even simpler. For those who are who are dealing with public image, now Rotary have put straight on the home page the brand center. So there's no excuse that we're looking for it and we can't find it. This is how it looks like. So, but who is our audience? They are our children, members of our families, our friends in Rotary. But you know, we, as public image, we want to reach other people. So the best way to do that is to promote your page, is promote your projects, especially your flagship projects. Put some money, put some dollars. Otherwise, your posts will remain among yourself. It won't reach anyone. Very quickly, Rotary is asking your emails and everything. Please put some hashtags. This will ease up connection with the outer world. Start small. Even I've shown you so many platforms. Don't try to be present on everything. Don't forget, we are there for a year and then we leave it there and it looks all, it's not ideal for us because you know your audience is hungry and it's not easy to feed them every day. So choose one platform like Facebook, for example. Start with post at least one post per week, otherwise you will lose them. Be active. surprise your audience. Be brand compliant. Visit the brand center. So the question to yourself, does your district and club have a website? Does your district and club use social media platforms? If yes, are they brand compliant? Today, if you're not in the clouds, you don't exist. So you need to be up there. Everyone needs to be present on a social media platform. So I will ask you, if you don't have any of those, please rush because time is running. Talk to your APIC, your assistant APIC, public image district chair. They will be so happy to help you get going with digital platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vino. This has been very informative and brief. We are trying to go as fast as possible because we have been told that we should decrease our time, although I believe public image is one of the most important topic, as I said, aspect, because it's the cherry on top. I always call it the cherry on top for all what we do for our service projects. Now, with all what my friend Ibim and my there are many, of course, we have more than about 18 districts in the zone, but we don't have time to showcase everything. So showcase, which I would like to share with you, the full donors and able to do it perfectly with committees, with presentations, with awareness, with organization. And they involved Rotary actors, they involved all Rotarians, and all the clubs were involved, and they were able to make a big project come on the ground. But what was the impact of this project? President Jennifer Jones have visited them, and they started doing awareness all over the country. But what is the impact? The impact of this project, after they have used all the social media they can, all the media, and they got the best impact. A new club was born. It's not only the old clubs that were interested, but a new club was born in Mashonga where they wanted to be involved more. Involvement of more Rotarians, it means involvement of more projects. And also they enhanced the engagement of all the Rotarians. They enhanced the engagement and the demand of the presentations for all the clubs. Every club started to be interested and they wanted to get these presentations for the project. The inspiration of the Rotary clubs was very high and the enhancement of the Rotary reputation became very high. In conclusion, the publicity of the program affected very much the reputation of the Rotary and affected very much the reputation of the Rotarians and of the clubs, and enhanced them and it engaged them. This is the impact of a very good case study that was used properly with a proper branding, with the proper engagement, with the proper, it's an awareness. This is an awareness of a polio day. Nearly 400 Rotarians from District 2451 from Egypt met at the pyramids, and they decided to do the promotion of polio. There was with end polio now and with us in the end polio. It was really a great walk, and we were able to raise interest for the society and on the social media and in the e-media. We were able to put it on the Facebook. Our governor at that time asked every Rotarian to publish these photos on his own Facebook page, in action, ending polio, and the call of action was to end polio. And we did that. Most of the Rotarians at the same time, on the same day, we published it on our Facebooks. What was the impact of that? The impact is we increased awareness to the clubs. We got more clubs to do polio days. We got more partners of government with us. We got more people that wanted to join us and that was interested even in the walk and the pyramids, came to ask who you are doing good jobs and everything. We got, and we were promised of more major donors to help us in ending polio. And we started also raising interest in clubs to do more and more polio days and polio vaccination campaigns. Now, the Uganda Cancer Plan, this is the district 9213 and 9214, another beautiful, beautiful project. They started the cancer run in 2011, and they started constructing a building for cancer and constructing a building for blood donation. And then they raised billions of the currency of Uganda. I don't know what's the currency, but it was billions. And they were able to finance the blood donations and the cancer run. And they made more than thousands of people running for cancer. What was the impact? They were able to treat and to reach thousands of people, to be able to treat them and to bring them into better life. And at that time, they had beautiful buildings that took all the Rotary names on it. And this is how you brand yourself, with the centers of the cancer and the blood donation, with all the Rotary wheels on them. This is how we enhance Rotary. This is the people of action. And how now they came out to tell their story. Their story was the television, the radio, the social media, and all the involvement they have. So these are beautiful case studies that we really should know about. But all the beautiful case studies we have will not be well consistent in the minds of the people with our wrong compliance. These are examples of wrong branding. We cannot have all set of logos in front of our logo. We need our logo to be consistent alone with no double lockups. This is another people of action picture, not compliant, because this picture, they are not in action. They are looking to the camera smiling. This is not action. And the one to the left is completely wrong fonts of Rotary. We are not using the same language. We are not using the same lines. We are not using anything related to Rotary. There is no action in this. And finally, the messages that we want in our People of Action campaign, we inspire. What is the inspiration that you see in these two pictures? Nothing. I can't see except circles, which I could not understand what they are. And the other one did not inspire me in anything. So please, my message here is, whenever you have a beautiful project, a beautiful case studies, use the strategies we've been listening to now and put a compliant, a very nice compliant logo on the Rotary logo on your flyer and on your project, to be able to stick it to the minds of people that we are Rotary. And thank you very much. Please be a brand champion, and this is the responsibility of every Rotarian. Thank you very much for your time. I want to leave you at the end with a film. You can watch it at your leisure, and it's a beautiful case study. It's for 5 minutes. It's for District 9220. And really, I was impressed with it. So just stay at end and watch it at your ease. Thank you.
The Rotary Club of Phoenix in Mauritius, driven by its dedication to eye care, embarked on a journey to create a sensory garden for visually impaired students. The journey began as the School for the Blind invited the club to sponsor a sensory garden project for primary students. The club was guided by these objectives. The club was called to make a donation of 50,000 rupees to build simple planting beds. Instead, the club decided to go the extra mile to build a full-fledged sensory garden with a collaboration of experts. The initial budget of 50,000 rupees asked by the school grew to 700,000 rupees thanks to a fundraising campaign initiated by the club members and their contacts. With sustainability in mind, the garden was built using a netted house, rainwater harvesting, drip irrigation, compost bins, and natural fertilizers. The garden now flourishes with 48 plant species, medicinal herbs, leafy greens, roots, climbers, fragrant flowers, and even tropical fruits. At the heart of the garden lay an audio-sensory corner, from cascading waters, the melody of the wind chimes, and an interactive musical feature to ignite their senses. We designed a logo and visual identity for the sensory garden to facilitate communication. A signage was specially designed in 3D using braille characters to allow the blinds to read as well. A creative campaign was rolled out online and in the media. It started with a teaser designed to generate curiosity. The project was launched in the presence of the Minister of Social Security, media, and other officials. A testimonial video was produced with the school management, staff, and students to get their insights on how the sensory garden will nurture their future growth. To amplify the impact, 2 videos were created to demonstrate how a blind person can perform their everyday tasks using their other senses. The video involved an actual blind person and a blindfolded person. The challenge was to take an everyday task to see who will be the fastest. Next, prominent TikTok influencers were invited to embrace the challenge. They stepped into the shoes of the visually impaired and engaged their followers to do the same. To wrap up the campaign, another video was produced to remind the audience on how visually impaired individuals use their other senses to live a normal life.
Mes yeux ne voient pas, mais mes mains peuvent voir. Quand mes mains voient, je touche, je sens, j'apprends, je sais. Mes yeux ne voient pas, mais mes oreilles peuvent voir. Quand mes oreilles voient, j'écoute, j'entends, j'apprends, je sais. Mes yeux ne voient pas, mais ma bouche peut voir. Quand ma bouche voit, je goûte, je mémorise, j'apprends, je sais. Mes yeux ne voient pas, mais mon nez peut voir. Quand mon nez voit, je sens, je découvre, j'apprends, je sais. Merci Loïs Lagesse Trust Fund. Grâce à toi, je deviendrai un adulte comme vous tous.
The results were overwhelming. Traditional media covered 17 pieces of coverage, including radio, TV, and press, with an estimated reach of 27,000 views. The Facebook campaign, on the other hand, reached over 307,000 accounts and 500,000 impressions.
I think now we understand how important our public image should be and all our tools and our strategies. Probably we do have 5 minutes or 7 minutes for questions if our MCs will allow us for the time. And please address your question to whoever you would like. Please.
Good afternoon. Beautiful presentation. My name is Rotarian Azu Arinze from District 9110. My question is very simple. Considering the beautiful work that members of the public image team that they have been doing, I was wondering, why was a hashtag not created for the Fit All Africa Institute in Lusaka? I think it is a big minus, and I would like to advise and suggest that going forward, for every institute and for every Rotary program, there should be a hashtag to accompany it. Thank you very much.
It's a very good idea. Yes, I think we should do that. We should have one common hashtag actually in Rotary. Okay, please. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Emeke Michael Manasseh Tebo is my name, District 9141 Governor. I want to start by appreciating all the presenters for a wonderful job done. And I also want to put on record, I want to appreciate the great work being done by our regional director, Even Cemetery, on public image for what she's doing in the district. I want to thank her and the region. My question is simple. Rotarians, especially from her work in my district, the public image team has been doing a great job. At the moment, the public image the team has tried to generate a prototype, just like the video we just watched. They distributed the club logo to clubs. Now my question is this, because it's the feedback we're getting from clubs. Sometimes they do this logo, get the lockup from, or get the logo from the brand center and send it to their, only for them on the day of event. Just imagine you get your program after proofreading and the printer tries to make adjustment. Like, you know, he is not a Rotarian and he utters your logo or utters any of your designs. What should clubs do? And you're getting to know either a day or on the day of your event.
Ibim, would you get that?
So yes, sometimes printers do what they like and they say it's the printer's devil. But that's why you have to follow your product bumper to bumper. You've given a printer something and you've said, printer, this is what I want to do. Say to the printer, please don't be creative. I've given it to you, use as is. And you know what? If you withhold some of their money and you stop paying them for wrong work, they'll stop doing wrong work. But you see, if they give you wrong work and you collect it and you pay for it, then they're going to keep doing it. So that's one thing to do. Insist that they do what they should do. Follow through, and that you make sure that you get the work that you deserve.
Thank you, Ibim. It seems that we do not have more time for any questions. I'm sorry, I just get the signal that we have to, but we can meet you outside. We can talk outside. Thank you very much. And remember, please, the brand center is your main source to follow all the proper logos, because people do have tendency to design our logo in different other shapes, which is not proper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pano. I have to test my mic because this is where all of us will be speaking from when the officials come. I just want to emphasize a few things. One, let us all be seated by 1:30. 1:30. I'm sure you saw us with a team of security people that was working through, and they have emphasized that everyone must be seated by 1:30 before the vice president comes in at 1:45. So have a quick lunch and then come back, and please be seated. Now, when you come in, please do not sit in the first 3 rows. The first 3 rows, do not sit in those. Sit in the rows after the first 3 rows, because these have been blocked. Yeah, go and have a good lunch and come back at 1:30. God bless you. Just check your meal cards, please. Check your meal cards. Someone has dropped their meal cards. If you have lost your meal card, see this lovely young lady here.